G-Max already on. Oh, man.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Crypto Campfire podcast. This is the Professor.
And Mitch?
And today we're going to be talking with Tom Meredith, the president and CEO of BitMinutes. Tom, it's going to be good to talk to you, man. It's good to have you here.
Yeah, enjoyed talking with you guys so far.
I was going to say, we got some really good conversation out of the way prior. We're going to have to revisit some of that, get it back on the recording, get it on the podcast. I think you guys are going to like some of this. It's a fun one. So,
definitely.
First, let's before we get into BitMinutes, I'd kind of like to know a little bit about how you got into crypto, how you found this space in the first place.
Well, how much time we have on this podcast?
As long as we need.
Right?
As long as we need.
Well, you may or may not remember, way back when, there was a thing called peer-to-peer file sharing.
Oh, yeah.
People were passing music back and forth.
Yeah.
We came up with a way to tokenize the music and tokenize money to make it a fully distributed means to buy peer-to-peer files online from all the peer-to-peer file sharing networks.
Okay.
So we built it, wrote a patent on it, couldn't get through the patent office, but that was our first exposure to something that was tokenized of value on a decentralized basis. So we went to the music industry and said, hey guys, these peer-to-peer networks that you hate and despise and trying to kill, we have a solution. We have a way to get paid for it so that we could actually put the content in what they call a DRM wrapper, digital rights management, so that you could actually get paid for it while it's out there in the wild.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And they told me to go F myself.
And they're kicking themselves today.
Oh no, they totally blew it. They totally blew it. So we were actually up against a guy named Steve Jobs, who had a centralized means of payment. It's called iTunes.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, fine. What's another application for it? Well, if you tokenize value in the way of money, you could send it to a phone on a decentralized basis for remittances. So that's where we started to do this, what's called P2P cash. So we were doing this in a tokenized fashion, but no standardization. Then the bank industry came out with a new ISO standard, which International Standards Organization, and we said, hey, this is great. This is something we can customize, so we can actually tokenize using a banking standard. We started messing around with that, and then Swift heard about it, and we became a top 10 global Swift startup for 2 years running. We have the ex-CEO of Swift is on our advisory board. We also have the ex-in-house counsel of MasterCard and the OCC. So we've been trying to do this legitimately. So it's taken us a long time to get here, very circuitous route. But now we have BitMinutes, which is tokenized prepaid time, that because we did a Swift integration a long time ago, and we now have MasterCard, we were one of Ripple's first third-party developers.
Okay.
So then we did an ERC20 token. Now we're doing a implementation on Stellar. So the key is the token itself. It's got a wrapper around it it's got the KYC and AML information. So, and we're a licensed MSB. So again, trying to do this right, the token of value can be used by 4 billion people today to top up their phone, because 4 billion people actually have to prepay their phone time. You can't walk into a Bangladeshi slum and say, I'd like a $1,000 iPhone and a year contract just by signing a piece of paper.
Right.
No, you prepaid minutes. When you run out, your phone stops working.
Right.
So there's a guy in every street corner, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a guy in every street corner that sells prepaid phone time, cigarettes, and Coca-Cola. This is the banker of the future. This is the future of banking right here.
Right. The individual.
The guy on the street corner. The corner retailer now becomes the corner banker.
Right.
So BitMinutes, 4 billion people literally can use it today to top up their phone, and we're creating jobs with this thing called the Trusted Agent Network, because we vet that guy. He puts a little bit of money in by buying some BitMinutes, and he acts like a human ATM machine to be the cash in, cash out.
Nice.
So Libra.
So he's like a router, so to speak.
A
router of those funds.
Right, exactly. I thought router, you were talking like a Cisco router.
No. Like a router of those funds.
No, he's the last mile where the rubber meets the road.
Okay.
Where mom has $5 literally underneath her mattress. How does she put that into something safe and trusted?
Right.
So the Gates Foundation. So we need a network of trusted agents. So what should we call this? We'll call this the Trusted Agent Network.
There you go.
So you're the last mile solution for mom, and it also creates jobs.
Now, where does this? You've mentioned decentralized, and so, but that last statement kind of leads you towards the centralized segment of it. So, is there a combination of the two?
We're a combination of the two, because what we're doing is, a lot of countries don't like crypto. So in the countries that don't like crypto, we are a balance of prepaid phone time.
Okay.
But it's bit minutes.
Right.
So it's not any one particular carrier. It's a universal prepaid phone time.
Bit meaning
A bit of minute.
minute.
A bit of minute. Yeah.
Right. That's cool.
A bit of minutes.
Yeah.
It's really cool that I mean, that's something that I hadn't really thought about before, is the fact that one particular thing could represent value across different companies, right? It's not like you have 1 minute just at one particular carrier, because right now you think of it that way. Like you go out and you buy a card for whatever carrier it is.
You get 100 minutes or $5 on that particular carrier.
You go buy a straight talk card or something like that.
Right. So you're familiar with the industry.
Right. Yeah. So instead of that, it's nice to be able to buy minutes that work for all of them. I mean, that's kind of an interesting concept. I also, I love that you're using blockchain. But what I'm curious about is sort of what regulatory issues you've run into trying to do this, but also doing it from a blockchain standpoint. That's
chewed up a tremendous amount of our time, money, and energy is trying to do this the right way. So we have a legal opinion from an EU law firm that says we're a utility token. We've got an opinion just about done from a United States law firm that says we're a utility token. We passed the Howey test. We've been very careful as to how we structure this because Greenberg Trauig said, look, you just prepaid phone minutes. There's no way, shape, or form can this be considered a security. So we've taken them at their word on it, and that's we're just prepaid phone time.
Right.
It just happens to be capable.
It's just coming in a different form, right?
It's a different form, right, exactly. So if you buy a prepaid phone card at XYZ Bodega, and you use it for that particular carrier, what's in it any different than say, well, this is something I can send to my, mi amigo in Mexico?
Yeah, it's literally no different. It's just a digital representation of a number.
It's a balance.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go up or down based on a value. It goes up or down based on how much is put in or taken out.
Exactly. It's a centralized ledger. Getting back to your comment and question.
Right.
But what we've done is, here, your bit minutes in Nigeria.
Hey, Litecoin seed card.
Hold this.
Okay.
Your bit minutes in the United States.
Alrighty.
So you're going to pay $10 to buy those bit minutes.
Okay.
You want to send that money to him in Nigeria, okay? You're basically going to send this to him, but in the middle is an ERC20 token that is decentralized, that does trade on exchanges. So the minute you buy $5 worth, we're a licensed MSP. We have to tell you exactly how much he's going to get in Nigerian Naira by law here in the States. So when you buy that $10 worth and you say, I want to know what you're going to send now, we grab bit minutes on the open market, the ERC20 token that's going up and down. We use this as the gateway to transfer your bit minutes, convert into the ERC20 token, send the ERC20 token to fund this. So this goes away, your balance goes down, you got rid of this. We use this as a transfer mechanism.
I dropped my minutes.
You dropped your minutes. To move the value over to his bit minutes.
Right.
So now his value goes up. But it's a stable coin in Nigeria because what we were finding, we're talking to people over there about implementing this. They said, what do you mean this thing's going to go up and down? We don't want that. We want to know it's worth X amount.
So the
of
up and
naira.
down happens in this transfer.
Exactly.
And based on that $10 worth of that $10 just now bought 50 minutes instead of 47.
Or whatever this ERC20 token is trading for
and then
at that time.
That same value comes to these minutes.
Exactly.
And you can,
it's all locked in. And then
makes
guess
sense.
what? All this stuff, all that information, who you are, how much, all that information gets locked up into a token that then gets broadcast on the blockchain, depending upon what blockchain we're on.
Right.
And we keep a centralized copy of it as well.
Interesting.
So it meets any regulator loves what we're doing.
I like unique applications of blockchain like that, where you use it, like you say, a transfer mechanism. Utilizing a token for something other than representing a dollar value per se.
Right.
We talk about alternate use cases all the time, and we get into things like this with the Bitcoin maximalists, where they're like, well, Bitcoin is the only good crypto. And I'm like, okay, great, it's a great cryptocurrency.
I'm not a big fan.
But there's other use cases that aren't even competing with Bitcoin.
Right.
Why would you write all those off? It's like saying that you don't like Ford because Papa John's pizza is not your favorite. I don't know. It's totally irrelevant.
Right.
If you don't like Bitcoin, or excuse me, like it's like for bit minutes. If you don't like bit minutes because you like Bitcoin, it doesn't make any sense.
No,
Because Bitcoin is not providing you funding time. It's not. It's bit minutes is not.
There's no use case to Bitcoin that I can tell.
It's alternate. No use case to Bitcoin. Oh.
You're opening up a can of
well, we
worms
do
here.
say that bit minutes are better than Bitcoin for
right.
billions because
That's
billions
great.
can actually use.
Guys, hold on.
Hey, yeah, here we go.
So hold on. Let's talk about this. Let's forget about Bitcoin as a currency. Look at Bitcoin as
a store
distributed
of value.
No, hell no.
No.
Oh,
That's
really?
money.
Hell
That's
no?
money. That's money. We're not
Okay.
talking about money.
Okay.
Right. Forget about money. What's Bitcoin? It is a distributed
Ledger.
data store.
Yep.
It is a distributed database.
Yep.
Okay. And the financial value behind it, the only real need for that is to pay miners. Like if you think of it this way, to pay miners to secure the blockchain, to secure the database. So when you mine,
That is true. That is the way it's set up.
So
Yep.
so the fact that it has value is what allows the security to exist and allows people to make some money mining it and gives them a reason to exist.
Exactly.
In the first place. So then now you have a utility, a technology that you can use as a distributed data store for anything that needs to be immutable. Let's say like vehicle title transfers or registrations, things like this, just for one particular example.
Right.
If there's a need to store information that can't be changed or can't be manipulated
Right.
by a centralized party,
Right.
there's
Immutable. I love the word, but why not create a title blockchain? You don't need Bitcoin whatsoever.
Well, okay, yeah. So
It's the first use
let's
case.
go down to why not create another blockchain? Because when you create a blockchain, you have to have stability and you have to have security, and that
Yep.
has to be backed by a large collection of nodes or an improved consensus mechanism, which does not yet exist, but they're working on it, and so
Pick it.
maybe that will change.
Pick it, yep.
I'm not saying that proof of work is a great option because I think there's
I
a lot
think
better.
proof of stake works very
evolutions.
nicely in terms
Exactly.
of not computationally intensive, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. So I think there's a use case to Bitcoin, but I don't.
I still haven't heard it though.
Well, let's.
He hasn't got
It keeps
No, I have
it keeps
said it.
miners in business.
No. That's not it. That's a reason for the security to exist, right?
Okay.
But no, the use case of Bitcoin is as a decentralized data storage mechanism because
Data storage? There's like you can put like 2 bits in there.
on Bitcoin, but you got to think we're going to be building more layers on top of Bitcoin.
Well,
So
Lightning's not getting the
going
traction
forward-
they should be.
Litecoin. I'm not saying
Not
Lightning.
Litecoin, I said Lightning.
Lightning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the off-chain stuff.
Right, Lightning Network for the
Right.
increased speeds and that kind of
Right.
stuff. Again, it's another abstraction that we're trying to build. It's trying to be built on top of it because we're looking at an underlying protocol, the very base. All right, look, if you went back and looked at the internet in the 70s, you'd have been like, "What the fuck?" You
I know. That was my first
And,
reaction.
and
like,
then
what?
you have to build things on top of that. You
Yep.
build the HTTP protocol.
Yep.
And all this stuff, and then it enables more things, and we find use cases for it. So maybe looking at Bitcoin right now, you can tear it apart, and you can say there's issues with this and issues with that. Maybe there's no use case that's currently being served.
Right.
But as an underlying tech and an underlying protocol that could be built upon and improved into one large ecosystem or system.
But
that enables more use
it
cases.
doesn't have the hooks for it. It's
Let
not,
me ask you this.
You can't do a smart
Let me ask you
contract
this:
on Bitcoin.
What gives this value?
The fact that
What gives that dollar value?
money in general, okay, it's based upon you giving something to him and
As
you
a
getting
means of
something
trade.
in return as a means of trade.
Right.
Money conducts, it's fungible, it allows.
But so does labor, right? So
Yeah.
like I can barter, right? I can
Right.
trade services,
Yep, and people
trade
have tried that
services for
years.
services, right?
Right. Well, that's what when I pay someone to babysit or
right, exactly.
What's up,
So
Pauly P?
this is
Silvertooth,
nothing
J-Man.
more than a note
What's
of
going on,
trade,
guys?
and the only value that this has is what we perceive it to have.
Exactly.
Right.
seashells.
It's not. It's no longer backed by gold, so there's no physical value to
I
it.
agree. I agree.
Right. And the same thing with cryptocurrencies in a certain regard. The value that becomes of them is what we put into it, and we call this a global form of trade.
Yep.
Right. That has the same value whether it's here in the United States, in Nigeria,
Sure. It's
over in Britain.
transferable.
Oh,
Yep.
It's transferable and it's instantaneous.
Yep.
It's very fast.
Yep.
Right. So that in itself, and the security of that transaction, and the openness, open source network of that transaction allows this transparency to exist. There is no transparency with this. Once I give this dollar to you,
Oh, you mean in terms of
there's no way to.
tracking
Yes,
tracking
exactly.
the transaction? No, I
Where?
agree.
How do I know where this dollar ends up?
That's
How
why.
do I know where
That's
it
why
goes?
that is going to
it's
be
worthless.
extinct at some
It's
point.
just a piece of paper
Right.
with some ink on it that said that used to say "In God We Trust." I don't even think it says that anymore, right? It might.
somewhere.
I haven't read the dollar
People
bill.
in God we trust.
Yep, and so it does still say that, right? But my point is that what we perceive to have value is what cryptocurrencies are
Right,
to
but
us.
if you
right?
were, if this was printed by the Zimbabwe government, sorry I use Zimbabweans out there.
Well, it doesn't matter. By a government.
They got problems, right? Or
Right.
Venezuela. If you would not take the Venezuelan bolivar
Right.
for trade right now.
No.
So all it takes is
Or
one
the
brick.
Venezuelan petro.
Or right,
Right?
exactly. But this is quote unquote backed by the full faith of the United States government, supposedly.
Supposedly, right?
So you're making a strong case for the existence of a Bitcoin. But,
and I mean, I'm trying to make more of a case about the freedom of the individual to do what they want with that node of trade, and
Right.
Bitcoin being that node of trade, or Litecoin being that node of trade.
Yep.
If I can use it to purchase goods and services,
Yep.
how is it not a currency, and how does
Oh,
it
is a
not
currency.
gain value?
Oh,
right?
I'm not saying it's accepted as a currency, but for doing traditional, let's say, e-commerce, m-commerce things, it's not a good form of payment in general because of the volatility.
But
And that
if
really
that-
is what we
but-
talk
solves some of
because-
those
But
think about
when
the
you
market
when
cap
you
of
set
Bitcoin,
up
right? Like
when you
it's-
set up a merchant,
considering a traditional commodity or anything, when you're talking about volatility.
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 Now we're talking about
Parental advisory episode. But no, I mean that.
Next week when we return to volatility.
Yeah, right.
But as time goes on and the market cap gets higher, volatility actually levels out.
Why is it going to get higher?
More usage?
Right.
If people start using it, people start
More
building it,
people
the market
coming
cap
into the space,
It
more
doesn't
people
necessarily drive
accumulating.
the demand for it.
But it does, because
Why?
as the supply goes down, does not demand go higher naturally by economics?
If you're using,
Tell me this: Do you see demand or
In the-
interest in Bitcoin going backwards right now, or do you see it going forwards?
I see it going forwards, and I've heard this argument makes sense. Okay, there are more and more people who are hearing about it, who are looking at it. But what's going to happen is it's got this much market share. Okay, the entire pie is going to grow.
Right.
Okay, its market share is going to shrink as the entire pie grows. I've got 4 billion people that can use Bitminutes today. How many people can use Bitcoin?
Anybody that's got a phone.
At least for
Any,
me.
no. How are they going to buy the Bitminute in a jungle in Africa or in the deserts of Afghanistan? They can't.
Yet.
They're not going to.
Right.
Zuckerberg can talk all day long about.
We don't even need to bring Zuck into this, because that's another rabbit hole that
I know.
politically,
We'll-
the PC part of me
I
doesn't
just
want to
gotta
go
say
down.
we can do this all day long.
Right. The beauty of having conversations like this is to be able to pull information and people's views from different perspectives.
Right.
Because as soon as we lock ourselves into a tunnel, how are we ever going to grow?
No, you
if,
gotta
if
be
you look
open
at
to new
things with a
ideas.
panoramic view,
Right.
right, and take in all these visions and all these ideas of other people, that's what creates this beauty of what we have.
Well, that's the
right, and this
beauty.
freedom
Exactly.
of this movement.
And God bless America.
So exactly, and God bless the world at this
Yep.
point, right? Because this is about changing the world. This to me and to us, this is more about community and people and
Yep.
changing how we care and see one another.
Right.
Right. And being able to give something of value to somebody, whether it be information, whether it be a tangible object that they can trade for something else.
Exactly.
It's about doing for other people and changing the world back from this centralized, all about me society to all about everybody.
Well, that's the spirit.
That is the spirit.
That is
and
our
that's
spirit.
that's what grabbed me and really drew me into where we're going.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Exactly.
This conversation has been amazing, Thomas, and I really would like to carry this on again.
Well, we got to talk about connectivity. What was it?
Oh yeah. What
Oh,
was
yeah,
it?
okay.
Something tidity or some shit. I don't even
Yeah,
know.
right. Volatility.
Volatility.
Right?
Yeah, that's it.
We were talking about volatility.
Volatility.
My stance on volatility was going to be this, if I can remember what it was, that it's volatile right now because of manipulation, right?
Exactly.
So, from a merchant standpoint, for a merchant to accept cryptocurrencies as a form of payment,
Yep.
right? there's multiple ways that they can accept this currency.
Yep.
They can have it automatically transferred, automatically exchanged into cash into their account.
Right.
Payment's done.
Right.
There is no pullback from this. There is
Right,
no
no, it's
6 month
it's
wait for
done,
Visa
done.
to say, okay, this guy can no longer pull the transaction back.
Right, right.
The money's realistically
Yeah, no,
yours.
I've come
right?
from the processing business. I hear
Right.
exactly
So
what
so
you're
you
saying.
have that, right? And then they have other options. So like, you know what? If I'm going to pay Visa 3% and I'm going to lose up to 15% in chargebacks in a
Chargebacks,
year,
yep.
let me take that amount of my income that I'm getting from crypto and leave it in the space
Yep.
and possibly take advantage of increasing the value of that money and still have my checks and balances
Or
taken
decreasing.
care of. Or decreasing,
Right,
whichever
right,
it may be,
right.
right? But you know what? I like to err on the side of positivity that, you know,
No, it's-
there's going to be some return, and regardless of how big or how large that return is,
Right.
for us right now, it's not even about the money, it's
Right.
about the movement,
Right.
and it's about giving that power back to people. So that's what we're passionate about. I'm not passionate about Bitcoin, or I'm not passionate about.
Well,
I'm
it's
passionate
what it
about
can
all
accomplish.
of it. Exactly.
Yeah,
Got it.
I'm excited about the potential of this type of data structure.
Right.
You know, the things that it enables, and whether it's on
Litecoin
Bitcoin
Lisa,
or Ethereum
what's
or
up,
any
sis?
blockchain that currently exists, it doesn't matter. You know, we're looking at a data
else
structure
is
that I
on?
think has a lot of potential.
This is
in the
so much
future.
fun.
Whether it's used.
Thank you so
I
much
don't-
for
I don't even
joining
think it
us
has to have
today.
a monetary value in some case. If we can find a good enough consensus mechanism that doesn't require there to be monetary value.
Right.
Because right now with proof of work, it has to be. Otherwise, there's nobody's going to go out and use all that energy for no return.
I mean,
obviously.
we're chewing up what the
But-
size of Switzerland right now in terms of the daily
Exactly.
energy used for running this Bitcoin.
So,
Exactly.
so let's lighten the conversation a little bit. Let me ask you this question.
man walks into a bar.
No, if you
Oh,
had,
we could- oh,
we
you-
could
you
go
did
there
it. You
next.
did
You,
this.
you
Oh,
did this, right?
Another rabbit hole.
No. The
Yes,
question,
but no.
the one question I like to ask a lot of people: if you had the power to do anything in the world, right, with a superpower, whatever that power
Yep,
might be,
yep.
what would you choose and what would you use it for?
Well, when I was a little kid, I'd say invisibility.
Okay, fair enough.
what would you use it for?
Invisibility's cool. What would you use it for?
Well, when I was a little kid, I had more.
You were hiding from people.
Oh, I'm in trouble now.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
They're coming for you.
So the penguin,
Yeah, you did it. So on
Right.
our podcast,
Oh,
we
God.
ask a stupid question,
Right.
just for fun. And one of those stupid questions that we've asked a couple times. So Penguin walks into a bar with a cowboy hat.
Okay.
What does he say and why is he there?
What is he saying? Why is he there? He says, I got one about a frog walking in a bar. But penguin, I haven't heard of that one. I have no idea.
Oh, it's not. There's no answer. You have to come
right?
up with the answer.
You just have to come
Oh,
up with an
oh.
answer. It's not like a punchline joke.
Oh, okay. So he walks up to the bartender and says, I'd like a martini.
Sweet.
And bartender gives him a martini and says, that'll be $25. Penguin takes a sip, says, it's not bad. And the bartender says, we don't get many penguins in here. And the penguin says, well, $25 a shot, I can see why.
I love how you turned that around into a joke. That was awesome, Thomas. Thank you so much for coming on the
appreciate
show,
it.
man.
You guys are great. I appreciate it.
one.
Awesome.
Let's do it again sometime.
We will. Look
Let's
us
go.
up, follow us. Listen to our podcast.
No, I plan to. Yeah, definitely.
And reach back out to us. We'd love to have you on the show
Well,
again.
you got the same mentality. It's like we've created over 1,000 jobs in Africa of can agents. Just in the last, I would say 4 or 5 months.
That's awesome.
Zero marketing dollars.
Right.
It's growing.
That's
It's
awesome.
growing like a weed.
Yeah.
Because it turns that corner retailer into the corner banker.
Right.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you again.
Okay. No,
It's a
thank
good
you.
one.
Appreciate it.
Sounds
Good time.
Okay,
Yes.
guys.
Take
I'm
it
going
easy.
to take this worthless piece of fiat and put it
Oh, I
back
was
in my
good. Oh,
pocket.
going-
Because it might actually
going
trade
back
me for
to
a part of a
What
coffee
we
today.
were talking
Uh-oh.
about. This is why we do a stable coin. Because that
Right.
he
That
doesn't have to
stablecoin.
think about what this bit minute is worth. It's worth $1. Mm-hmm. And then you on the other side, it's worth a Nigerian naira.
Right.
You don't have to think to go through like, oh, I should buy
All this
now or
math.
sell some, or because people. I mean, I love people, but they're not necessarily.
So check us out.
very
Check
math
out
inclined.
check
You guys
out
want this,
Change
or-
Angel. Yes,
sure,
please.
we'll take it.
Check out Change Angel IO.
I saw change. What do they
I don't
do?
know that they're here.
I
Change
saw
Angel
somebody
IO
from Change Angel.
is about. They're all about supporting
Are they the guys that say
non-ICO.
give away bit minutes or
No,
Bitcoin?
no, that was a different group.
Got it.
Yeah, we just got done interviewing those
You know, with
guys
the funny
earlier.
hats?
Yeah, the guys with the funny hats. But Change Angel has this website where you can actually we plant these things called seed cards.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about
Right?
that earlier, right?
And so there's been a lot of them created, a lot of different seed cards created. We got Bitcoin seed cards, Digibyte seed cards.
Let's
and
do it for minutes.
Yeah, I mean, are you an ICO based project?
We did our ICO a year ago. Now we're doing an IEO.
Okay, so you wouldn't necessarily
EIEIO.
qualify for the
map.
Change Angel.
Angel does like
right.
the non-ICO projects, but on the
Self-funded,
map,
right?
But that doesn't mean that you can't plant seed cards.
Exactly.
You
It
just-
doesn't mean you can't come up with a seed card
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
let your project be spread around. So,
Yeah, I'll take one
you know,
of these.
take one of them, check it out.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a
scan
good
the
option.
QR, and it gives you information about your product or
Cool.
about your project.
Yeah, we've thought about doing something like that, like having a stack of something like at a retailer
Yeah.
that says $1. This is worth $1.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, so you
That'd
do
be
that,
sick.
you could plant those seeds
Yeah,
around, just
right.
put them around, and as people find them, then they could come find you and learn more about crypto and more
Exactly.
about what you guys are doing.
It's all about
Yeah.
spreading information.
No,
Exactly.
exactly.
Again,
Okay,
thank you so
enjoyed
much.
it, enjoyed it.
Thank you so
Guys,
much.
we'll talk to
Good
you
job.
soon. That
Keep
was a
up
great
the good work.
podcast.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, we still on live?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
hi guys.
Take it easy.
Peace.
That's it. Peace out.
That was fun.
Oh, there was a. Oh.